On February 27th, 80 Nashville students were arrested out of over 300 who were participating in the sit-ins that day. Within a period of 2 months, the movement had spread to 65 cities involving every southern state, with the exception of Mississippi.
My name is Tori Ozane from Westlake, Louisiana. I'm a professional bullfighter.
How did you get involved in this sport, Tori?
Back doing youth rodeos, about 16 or 17 years old, I had seen a kid get hung up. I was actually riding bulls then. Kid got hung up from the bucket chutes to the end. Had 10 guys in the arena. And after I saw him for a couple minutes get hung up, I stepped down with my chaps and my spurs and went down and got him. And then after that, I got hired by Everly Kenny to fight bulls. Most sponsors have their own opinions, but at the same time, to protect yourself, them, you basically got to, like I said, watch what you post. They might not agree within, your decisions.
If that were to happen, what would you do?
If I didn't have social media?
If you lost those sponsors because of something you said, and even if it wasn't negative, you think that just in general, just having a different point of view would make you undesirable or less desirable as an endorsee?
I probably would, make them understand and see it from my point of view. I really don't know how they would see it from my point of view versus theirs. Because some people really don't notice how you feel because they're not in your shoes.
At the same time, with something deep down within me, moving me, that I could no longer be satisfied or go along with an evil system. That I had to be maladjusted to it. And in spite of all of this, I had to keep loving the people who denied me service, who stared at me.
If I'm a businessman and people that I do not want in my business insist on either coming in or boycotting, then certainly it's not going to make me love them.
I actually traveled with Jamon, actually was my roommate, and I've actually learned a lot from him and about the whole, the N-word being dropped plenty of times, hearing it, and he just told me to smile about it. Man, it'll bother you, but he said, man, just keep your head up and keep pushing.
Do you think that makes it a little bit harder to compete when you have to deal with that, as opposed to maybe some of the other athletes that you're up against?
Yeah, especially mentally. A lot. It'll play a very hard role in a mental game, especially when you hear that, you really don't feel comfortable. And people say that to try to get you out of your zone, try to get, you to fight your head and try not to let you get to that A game to perform like you need to.
And it's extremely discouraging sometimes, and it makes you question yourself and your own ability. And I know for myself, it's made me ask myself, do I really belong here? And so I agree with you. It's something that you have to get over mentally, and it's just another challenge added to it that I don't feel like a lot of people acknowledge that maybe POCs of the rodeo industry go through. I know that for me, that's been kind of a fear of mine, is that voicing my own opinion that I've derived from my own personal experiences. I feel like if I voiced those, I would lose the possibility for sponsorships and support from other people.
And for the first time, the community was confronted with Negroes in places where they had never been.
The discomfort of being the only woman of color back at jackpots and rodeos. I'm just learning to kind of deal with that a little bit better right now, and I'm trying to get used to it. Is that something that you've ever experienced or experiencing right now?
Yes, every time you look around, you're the only one, but so a lot of times when you don't get that high score or, the call on your side, you just kind of wonder. Most of the time now, like you said, it takes a little while, and you get the experience, and then people get to know who you are, and they know that you're good enough to be there. They'll give you that shot, and they'll basically treat you like one another, like you're part of the group.
It really was not fair for them to be served in the stores as customers and not be allowed certain services, denied certain services within those same stores.
The momentum began to build from the crowd, and they said, hit the nigger lover, hit the nigger lover, and then there's that strange, long, lonely feeling where you're waiting for something to happen, and you don't know what's going to happen, but somehow, down deep, you're ready for it. And he walked up behind me.
I reached and grabbed that Yates boy to see how hard I could hit him.
He hit me in the back of the neck. In the midst of it, with the shouting and the jeering and the crowd of people, I suddenly felt this tremendous humiliation. Suddenly, I had crossed into another race. I'd moved into a different world. I was a Negro feeling all of the rejection and humiliation he must have to go through every time he's rejected.
You cause no violence. You have no angry words. You're friendly, and it sort of helps to project the idea that here sits beside me another human being